what would be a deal breaker for you?
Can you imagine having that person sit on the same table with you?
Wow.
Right?
It traumatized you.
Traumatized me to this point.
How many golf balls does it take to fit a van? So you were saying?
For one interview, there was a whiteboard, and this interviewee stand up, take the whiteboard marker and then...
It's affecting me so much. Hi, I'm John and welcome to Mayhem. Life can get really spicy at times. So that's why today we brought in someone to answer these questions. So in today's video, we will be discussing about God, faith and the job hunting process with someone who has 16 years of experience in HR. There will be a challenge where we each need to avoid saying the chosen words by the other person. There are 3 different levels in this conversation with increasing intensity of questions. And if we say the chosen word, we will need to take a spoonful of mala soup with increasing spiciness as well. When I say the chosen word, it will be this sound. And if my guest says the chosen word, it will be this sound. Level 1 will be 小辣, level 2 will be 中辣, and level 3 will be 大辣. Well, let's head over now for the conversation. Come.
Yeah.
Finally.
Wow, okay, nice.
Good to have you with us. Today, everyone, we have Eugene, who has had about more than 16 years, I would say more than 16 years of experience in HR, and we will be covering topics on what to look out for in landing a job, or maybe even in changing jobs. So I hope this helps us as we go along the way. But let me first ask Eugene.
Yes.
Share with us your experience, maybe over the years. Don't have to say the name.
Yeah.
What are some industries that you have worked under? Just to let us know a bit of who you are.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll start with my current company. I'm currently in what did we say? Footwear and apparel company.
Whoa. Okay.
Narrows down a little, but I'm in a footwear apparel company.
Yeah.
Been with the company for about 4+ years. Coming to a 5th year anniversary. Actually, January will be my 5th year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you for that. Before that, I was in a tech company for about 8 years. And then before that was in a consulting firm. And then before that, I'm showing my age a little, but before that was in another tech company.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was my first job coming out of uni.
Maybe tell us more about yourself, your personal life.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you married?
Married. Yeah. So married, happily married.
Awesome.
Married for I wanted to quickly say the number of years, but didn't come to mind. But I can say we're married in 2004, so 2004.
Coming to 20 years soon.
20 years, yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, thanks for helping me do the math. 20 years soon. Yeah, 1st January. Yeah, so 1st January actually will be my 20th anniversary.
Amazing, congrats, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, and then 3 lovely kids. I've got a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 9-year-old. So nice. Boy, girl.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to go into round 1. Okay, I hope you're prepared.
Round 1. Okay.
Before we start,
yes.
We have to write our words. Okay, be kind. Be kind. Okay.
Okay, let's just go with this lah. Okay, just one word first, right?
One word first.
Okay.
Okay, then show the camera. Just put in front of you and show the camera. Okay, ready? You all saw the words? Very good.
Why we choose the same word?
Then we both have to go through this. I already can feel the spiciness just by looking at it. My eyes are burnt.
Oh boy.
What do you think are some questions that the HR side would ask the first, someone who's going to apply for a job? What do you think they will ask?
Yeah. Okay, for me personally, what's the first question I usually like to ask? Wait, not the thing.
Okay. So let me be kind to you, huh? Just a sip, lah, Just a sip. Yeah.
Wow, this is too many things going on now.
Don't worry, we have water.
I need it close by me.
If you need, we can have milk too.
Okay.
This is only 小辣.
Oh, 小辣?
Yeah.
But whole spoon?
No lah, one sip.
Okay lah.
Give chance.
Try.
Your guess. Yeah. It's okay, right?
Okay lah.
Not so bad, right?
Not so bad.
Yeah.
小辣 can I think can handle.
Can go.
Can
Can go for the whole spoon. You want more liao or not?
No need liao. Okay, still can.
Okay. Very good.
Wow.
Okay, so we will continue, So you were saying You were saying that some things that you would ask is...
Okay, yeah. So some question that would potentially come up, right?
Yep.
It's how passionate you are about the company they are applying for.
Okay.
Right? And that's usually the first question that I will pose to the candidate, right? Because I think that gives me a good sense in terms of, how this person will want to fit, and try their best to fit in a company. So that will be usually the first question that I will pose. Then on top of that, then you will get into, I think there'll be parts about how well you fit into like your experience fits into what the company is looking for.
How I fit in,
right? And then I think that would be more the domain knowledge, right? If they're looking for certain functional knowledge, whether you have it or not, whether you're a good fit. And then of course the last part will be more the cultural, right? How would you... Now I think most companies are moving on to how much will you add to the culture, not so much how much will you fit in. Yes, I think that's part of it, but how much
it used to be add lah. I mean, it used to be fit.
Yeah, fit, right? I think now it's more like how much, and that's I think it's more in the the name of diversity. Most companies know that you need more diverse experience, background, so on and so forth. So I think it's more towards how much this person will add to the company culture.
What are some challenging interview questions that you've heard of?
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm going to ask you one right after you answer me.
Wow. I wouldn't get into the detail of the question, but it was like a brain teaser kind of question. Right? In essence, it was like, if this island is some disaster going to sink, then how will you save all these things and so on and so forth. So I remember having to think about things like, like get a big ship and stuff like that. Right? So that's one thing that came to mind. And after I joined this company, then I know they went through a change in terms of the questions. How effective are these questions, right?
Okay.
Sometimes the headline...
Like, what is the purpose of these questions?
Yeah, what the purpose are. So you can't challenge what the real purpose, right? How effective are these questions and so on and so forth, right? Yeah. So I think there's a big shift, and I wanted to call it a year because at that time when I was still interviewing, right, those kind of questions did come up.
So I have one question that we have found that is used in an interview by a big tech company.
Yeah, okay.
And the question is, how many golf balls does it take to fit a van?
Okay. So I think what they're trying to look out for in this kind of questions,
thank you,
right? Like the BTS behind the scenes. It's more your thought process behind it, right? How logical are you in addressing something like this? It's an ambiguous situation, but they want to know how thoughtful you are in terms of this. Whether you have the wrong or right answer, that's if I use the word irrelevant, right? But if you start by stating logical, reasonable assumptions. So let's say I said, the van, let's say it's 2 meters by 1 meter, right? Let's say I assume it's a square van, right? Like square, not round and stuff like that. So I calculate volume 2 by 1 by how many feet and stuff like that. Then I say, okay, this, and the size of the golf ball is this, stuff like that. If you can actually talk through it in an interview while you're under, this kind of condition, then that shows a good sign that you are able to think through things.
That's a good point. But what if I come from the angle of like, I'm very creative. I don't use the logical like 2 by 1. I'm like, just one van because the golf ball is like 2 meters big. That kind of thing. So would I be marked down for that or what?
I don't know the right or wrong answer, but maybe depending on the role, right? Maybe you have a creative role, maybe that's what they're looking at.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
For me, I've always been more on the the operational part of it. So we do look for people who are able to break things down,
that's
right?
good.
Solve strategy and think that way, logical, make the right assumptions, not too crazy kind of assumptions, sound logical and more the thought process. You're able to kind of think through things, right? And then come up with something reasonable. I think that's what they're looking for.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, that comes to the end of round 1. So now we'll head to round 2. Okay? So round 2.
I know how this is played.
Sorry. This is yours. Okay. What do you look out for in a candidate that is not appearing, that is not in their CV? So apart from the CV alone, that there are things that maybe fit the job description and all that, what else do you look out for in a candidate?
Yeah. What else do you look for? I think going back to the initial question that we had earlier on, I think the question that I like to pose, right?
Yeah.
So I think that always comes to mind because I think that's very important in terms of right your kind of things that you cannot learn or what, right? This person actually comes with like the passion. Yeah. So for example, right, in my current company, when I start with a question like, how much do you okay, I'm trying to think of the words like, so something like, why do you actually apply for this role?
Yeah!
I can see like you're anticipating, like, waiting for me, man.
Okay. Just a sip. This one is just a sip. It's okay. Let's go for a sip.
Wait, I always must think first. What is this?
Water is ready for you. I'll drink with you. Cheers.
Cheers. I have suspicion. Don't know what word is it. Okay. 中辣, right?
中辣.
Okay.
Can I?
You can, eh?
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, this one should have told the auntie.
Can, eh? I think, okay. Okay, where were we now?
You're saying that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the thing that I always post, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What do you look out for? Why do you apply for this?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah. I think, why do you show interest? Show interest in this role, in this company, right? Yeah. And I want to see, what comes out from that, lah. Yeah. And usually I always open with that question. Yeah. What else do you look out for? Let me think. One thing that comes to mind also is just, and I don't know whether this is the right word, but I remember one interview that I had in my previous company, and we were going through a question. Yeah. And so happened in that interview room there was a whiteboard, right? Yeah. And this interviewee actually was confident enough to stand up, take the whiteboard marker and then draw out like the answer to a question, right? Yeah, okay. I thought I said the word, but it's not.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. So I think I don't know what word comes to mind, but in terms of the if I can use the word like the confidence, right? Confidence comes out.
That's true.
That also comes out.
Yeah. Like you know why you're there.
You know why you're there. Yeah. You know your answers. It's not like pre-prepared answers where you're just memorizing things, but
you're thinking
You're thinking on the spot. I think also goes back to the other part about the kind of ambiguous questions, right? And then they just want you to kind of show how your thought process through it, lah. So I think part of it is also related to that, lah.
What are some deal breakers when it comes to like a candidate? Yeah. What would be a deal breaker for you if let's say you were to hire someone in your team? Yeah. What would be a deal breaker?
Deal breaker. I mean, for me, certain red flags would be, right, if the person, has very little awareness of the company that the person's applying for. Like, if that person doesn't show any interest in that role, very little understanding of the role, very little understanding of the company. And usually that's why I start with that question, right? Because that shows me how much interest you have, right? How much homework have you done, right? Is that really aligned to your career, or you're just, try, hit and miss and then see what comes out, right? Yeah. So, I really look out for that, right? I think that comes through. Then of course, the obvious things are like, if somebody's applying, doesn't have the relevant skills, experience, and so on and so forth, right? Then there would be red flags. On the culture aspect, right? I think that the one question that, one of my previous manager always kind of used that as a pressure test is, can you imagine having that person sit on the same table with you in like a team meeting or, in like problem solving, that person. So that always comes to mind in terms of at the end of it, right? If I cannot see that person, I cannot imagine, sitting beside you, then to me, it's
no point,
right? Something, something maybe cannot put in words, but, that to me would be, a deal breaker or a red flag. Right, and usually interview process, maybe just to extend a little bit, right? That's one interviewer's point of view. There may be other interviewers also may have different perspectives, right? Sure. And you come together and then you make a decision. Yeah.
Thanks for that. What are some mistakes to avoid when we're applying a job or going for an interview for that matter? What do you think are some mistakes that we should avoid? Okay, I think I wouldn't go into the obvious one, be on time and stuff like that. Yeah. But I think things to avoid in terms of starting with more the application side, right? In terms of submitting your resume, make sure it's customized to the role, to the company they are applying for, right? I think that's important, right? Because some of the companies, right, that they receive
many.
And then it's about who they are, how good they are, but it's not about like how it's curated
how do you actually, that immediately when somebody is so-called screening and this person has the right relevant experience, you call it out, right? Maybe just one more point around that is in terms of how you craft your resume, and there are a lot of information out there, but one basic principle is always, indicate the what and the impact you have made also. Some people just like to list, I done this, but always like indicate what's the impact of what you did.
Effect of it, outcome
of it, right? If you're in sales that you did, what's the, show some numbers, some data behind that. I think that also will come through.
Yeah.
Right? So avoid, if I can, go back to the question, avoid generic kind of resumes, right? Then in your, during the interview, I think one thing you can avoid is, don't need to rush through, your answers, right?
Just take time to think.
Take time to think about it, right?
That's a good point.
I think for me personally, I appreciate people who are thoughtful about their answers.
That's good.
Right? Yeah, so I don't mind, right? Even if there's silence, it's okay. You don't need to feel the silence.
The awkward silence.
Yeah, awkward silence, it's okay. Yeah, right? But I know you're thinking about it, right? And then just come back with a thoughtful answer. I appreciate that.
That's a good point.
So for me, then that's more of practical advice. Don't need to rush through it, right? I know the nerves play a little part also. I've been through those interviews also, right? And to me, maybe kind of somewhat related is when I've gone through those interviews that I've come out and I feel good is where it felt like a chat more than an interview.
That's true. That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
Like having a conversation.
Like conversation, another friend, right?
Yeah,
and they're asking about my experience, what I like about my job, what I don't like, right? And then to me it's like, and when I've gone through interviews, then like my wife, how did the interview go? I usually based on that, right? It's good when I come out feel like, I didn't even feel like an interview, it was like a chat. It was more than just asking me about my previous work, and I'm excited about it because I think I've done a good job. I just share, and the person is conversation. The other thing that comes to mind when I consider a good interview is when actually, as an interviewer point of view, when I actually learn something. And I've come out of some interviews before when I actually learn something new.
Like the person has something to give and offer and contribute.
Exactly, right? And it, oh wow, that's a new point, either, about work or about something else. And I come out, oh wow, I actually learned something from that. That's also another sign of, from an interviewer point of view.
Yeah. That's good. No, thank you so much for that. So we've come to the end of round 2, and now we're going to prepare for round 3. Feel this. Okay, don't show me, don't show me.
Okay.
So you ready, Ready, Okay, so far you've been helping me.
I've been enjoying the soup. I've been enjoying the soup.
You've been enjoying the soup. How do you know when it's time to move on to another job? What are some factors? Wait, what?
The round two split.
Oh, serious? Oh no, so it means that.
Wow. Okay, let's see how spicy this is.
Okay, if you know me, my spice level is horrible. Horrible.
Okay.
It's non-existent. Oh.
Wow, the smell hits you first, right? I can smell it from here,
The peppercorn.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, my nose, right?
Oh, cleared. Nose is cleared.
Oh wow, it's kicking in. This is no.
Wow. Oh. Okay, must think through again. I know 2 words so far.
Oh, it stings, It stings. My tongue is like. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Let's continue. So I was saying, how do we know? Oh, let me not say that again. How do you know when is the time? What am I doing to myself? Oh my goodness. Oh no. Okay, guys.
I can use school. Okay.
I just stick the oil.
Okay. Small sip.
Go big or go home.
Wow. Okay. Do it.
Oh, my nostrils are breathing fire.
Oh. I feel hot for you also. I better drink water also.
Oh wow. Please pray for me.
Okay.
Pray for me tomorrow, especially.
Wow.
When I go to the toilet.
Okay.
Okay, maximum. If one more, that's it.
Okay.
Wow, this is next level. Okay. Yeah, you know my question, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a word also. Was that instance?
When do you know? What are some factors to help someone know that I need to change jobs or move on from this job? Yeah. How do I know?
Yeah.
What are some factors that contribute to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, the main thing is when you have stopped learning or growing in that role. I think that always sounds like the kind of cliche, the right answer. But to me now, having worked a couple of years already, I think that's very important, and that's usually kind of my mark when I kind of do any kind of self-evaluation or reflection. Say, hey, am I still growing or learning in this role? And how much runway is there more, right? And ways to find out, talk to people, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's one. Of course, there are other kind of more, if I can use the word, maybe obvious reasons, right? If the company culture, you're not fitting into it, right? It's toxic. You're not able to get along with your teammates and so on and so forth. I think those are also kind of the reasons that you may want to leave a company. From an HR point of view, you own your career, you own your career journey, right? Nobody's going to look after you. Your manager's there just to remove hurdles, but you kind of need to own it.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to know where your so-called destination is. If things are not leading to your destination, right? I think that's when, one key factor for you to ask yourself.
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. I think maybe I just want to add on to that, right? Is for yourself. You probably have different transitions through your journey in different work. And I just want to ask, maybe what led you said you were in 12 years?
In my previous company,
12 years, right?
8 years in my previous company.
So you were 8 years in there, and then what led you to make the decision to leave? Or to change to another? What were some factors for you?
Okay, I can start with that first because that's my most recent change, right? Really for me was more of a career decision in terms of the size and scope, area of responsibility. I saw that as one level up for me. And actually, I really love my previous company. Right? I was really trying to find internal roles, but somehow things did not work out. There are no open doors and so on and so forth. So when this opportunity came along, it was a hard decision, but I think everything, right? God has a plan for each of us. He knows where we are, season of life, and so on and so forth. This door opened up. I went through the interviews, and I've been in this company coming to 5 years already.
That's right.
Right, and of course, when at the stage, things that are important to me in terms of coming from a company that I really, really enjoyed working for, right? Things like culture was very important to me. So those are kind of key questions. I really wanted to have a good understanding first, right, before. But in terms of going back to the initial question, it's really more of that job scope, responsibility. Oh boy, my turn.
I hope this affects you as much as it did for me.
Okay, let's do it. This one I cannot go big or go home. This one I go small. Go small.
I think can. I think you can. Your tolerance is quite good.
Okay, Zhongma was okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. Da. This is what? Da.
Da la. It's okay, right? For you?
Does it hit later on or?
For me, it hit lah. But I told you my tolerance level is non-existent.
Not too bad, eh?
Hey guys, please go and get Sen La.
Not
get the hottest
one. Still, this can taste the flavor, not just the chili.
Oh, not bad, huh?
Wait, now slowly coming.
Not bad.
Okay.
But next time you can recommend to others.
Okay.
This is my place.
Now, what word? I can't remember what word is it now.
That's the point of the game.
That's the whole point of the game. I'm probably prepared to drink again.
So coming back to you, you're saying you're going to move, there were different factors.
Right? Yeah. The previous one was really the attraction of the company also at that point.
Were you headhunted or like you saw an offer or you saw an advert or something?
Saw advert, I actually applied on their company website.
Wow.
Which was very rare.
Yeah.
Right, because my previous company, when roles open up, they have a lot of applicants.
Yeah.
So really definitely the hand of God, right, leading me through that. So that was for that reason. Then prior to that was my first step into HR.
Yeah.
Right? That was the main driver. I really wanted to get into HR, right?
Yeah. Okay, thanks for sharing about that. Like your foray into HR.
HR, that was the main driver back then, right? I really wanted to get into HR, right? Yeah, so that was my...
So maybe on another question for you is, how do you, as you're making the decision, to me, I'm very curious about the latest one, the transition that you had from your previous company to this company, and you said like being married with 3 kids at this point of time, having that shift, were there any concerns or uncertainty like, hey, I have a family to look after? There are many concerns on my mind. What?
Well, I can't even think of the word that I wrote.
Okay, this one's the last one for me. This is the last one for me because it's the third one already. Okay, so I will go big.
Okay.
And I won't go home.
Okay.
Oh, wow, it went straight to my nostrils. Wow, sorry.
Okay. Need more water now?
If the camera is here, but you can see all the peppercorn. Like
peppercorn. Wow.
Chili and peppercorn. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Going back to the recent transition, right?
Yeah. Were there any concerns or uncertainties?
There definitely was, right? From a family aspect, from my own, right? Yeah, you touch on that, right? From a personal point of view, I'm not young, right? So to say, right? And then any transitions, during this period, it's a little scary, because you're starting anew again, right? You start to come build connections, relationship all over again.
Sorry. It's choking
you. Choking you.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Yes, I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
So transitions.
Yeah. So definitely on the front was very scary. On the family front also, of course, a lot of concerns. Right. Kids growing up. This,
it's affecting me so much. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yogurt.
I need a lot's help.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Coming from a Christian aspect, definitely by a lot of prayer. Right. I think that was that period where you pray a lot, right? Because a lot of things are unknown, right? And when you're dealing with unknown, you really have to leave it up to God to guide you through those, right? In terms of your professional life, your personal life. Right, and I always remember during this kind of transition, you always, you hear different kind of advice, you talk to people, you hear different things, right? And it's really, for me, what comes to mind is really about prayer, right? Yeah. And of course, kind of also on reflection, what's your relationship with God? Yeah. Right? I think that's also something that comes to mind also. Ensure you have that, that close working relationship with God. Yeah. Right? And trust that He will lead and guide you and speak to you through those moments.
That's good, man. That's so good. How do you deal with, what if someone says, hey, I've been applying for so many jobs, and from this company to that company, I've just been rejected again and again and again and again. So how would you advise this person?
I think I would say that, always look at your career as a marathon, not a sprint, right? I think for us, a lot of times we want things to happen and we are always influenced by, if you're on LinkedIn or social media, you read, this guy has a new job.
That's true. That is so true.
Then you look and say, why am I stuck here?
Isn't that the worst?
That's the worst, right? You feel, but I think always going back to, your faith that God has a purpose and plan for each of us, that's right? He knows you inside out. He's your creator, so He knows what's best for you. So you really have to trust in His plans, right? Right? I think on a personal aspect, when my previous company, I was like, hey, why I'm trying so hard, why nothing's working out and so on and so forth, right? You start to question, right? But I think really, going back, just trust God that He knows what's best for you, right? And He work things out according to His time, according to His plan. Yeah, so I think that's what comes to mind.
It's so good, yeah. And I just want to add on to that, like hearing all the things that you mentioned from round 1, round 2, and this final round, really the takeaway, even from applying jobs, is how much can we give? You know, as a person, how can we give and contribute? Not just to go because, oh, this company is big, or this company is great, and I want to get from this, but more about how can I give? How can I offer? And isn't that like honestly so biblical? To be like the Bible says in Acts 20 verse 35 that it's more blessed to give than to receive. And for those of us who are going through, maybe you're finishing uni or you're changing jobs in transition, or maybe like Eugene as well, transitioning from jobs to jobs, and you have family that you're concerned about. In the same manner, like what you said, we really need to take time to pray and seek God. And I think sometimes we rush because we are, like you say, we look at LinkedIn, we look at Instagram, we look at different social media areas, and we're just so pressured by the comparison, by the fears of like not being able to keep up with what other people are going through. So I think in the same manner for us, let's take time, you know, to pray, to seek the Lord, and to ask God, why am I here? What's your purpose for me? And how can I give? How can I contribute? How am I learning and growing to become more than just the position that you hold, but how are you growing to become more like Jesus and representing Him wherever you are? I believe that's the blessing, you know, on all of us, wherever we're positioned, whichever jobs that we take. And it's like you said, one of the last things you said was, it's a marathon. It's really a marathon. It's not just a sprint, it is a marathon. So with that, thank you so much, Eugene. We've come to the end of Mala Mayhem. Thank you, everyone. We can go already. Finally.
Okay. Wow. Let's go have mala.
Some more mala.